This video is to show the installation of a Hansshow electric tailgate lift on a 2020 Nissan Murano. I've also installed the tailgate kick sensor that also opens the tailgate by simply passing your foot by the back. Installed the switch here for open and close. The switch on the door right up there also opens and closes the hatch. The electric remote control, and also installed a switch on the dash here that came with the kit. For remote control, it uses the unlock button. Just push it 3 times, and it also signals the hatch to open. To install the electric lift kit, there's just a few tools that are needed for removing body panels, the inside plastic parts. So here's some of the tools that you'll need. It comes with new electric lifts here and brackets that mount in the factory location. So you just unscrew it. You'll have to end up drilling a hole in this location to route the wires into this area. The computer will be installed, or the module will be installed behind this panel. So the first thing is to remove this inner panel here. It pulls straight down and out. It's got about 8 clips that hold it in, but it pulls out pretty easily using those tools. The next step is to remove the large panel here. The first step in doing that is remove this panel. Involves just popping this heads out on this little thing here, and then the whole clip comes out. So there's 4 of those that pop out, and then also the pocket here just pops out. Hard to do holding the camera, but that pops out there. And then you start on the edge and pull down and away. You pull the panel, just to make sure you're holding the weight of the panel as you lower it down, because it is a big piece. And then after that's removed, then you can remove these pieces here. They come out this direction. The clips are installed here, so you just pop it out that direction, and then that one. But order is this one, then the big panel, and then the side panels. So the next step after that is to remove this panel here, which has a 10mm screw there to pull this whole panel out. You do have to lower the seat and remove the seat belt bracket there. Little cover pops off, and there's I think a 10 or a 14mm, maybe it was 13, behind that cover there. Just unscrew it, and this whole cover can come off. Be careful about your wiring here on this light. It can be unplugged, or pop the light out and then unplug it, or you can unplug it after the panel's pulled out. To allow it to come out easier, you'll have to pull back the weather stripping. It comes off very easily. Might as well pull it all the way back here, because this part of the headliner is going to have to be lowered down in order to get access for running your wires. Once they're coming out of here, they're going to run through here, through this little ducting here. You'll need a pull wire or something to do that. One of the trickiest parts was pulling the wires through this rubber boot here. So just be patient, because you're pulling about 12 feet of wire through there in order to get it into the headliner area, and then pulling up the wires from the kick sensor, joining them together, and then pulling them down the headliner. I did all that first before I did any of the attachment of any of the brackets. That way I knew everything was connected, or at least routed, which was very time consuming. That was the most time consuming part, but of course I'd never taken this vehicle apart either, so that was part of it. Once again, the wiring's running down through here towards the front dash. The power is going to be pulled in from back here. There's a fuse panel. That's where you're going to pick up power. So this cover here is going to pop off, go in this direction, and then you'll be able to route your wires down the headliner. Once again, you'll want to pull that weather stripping down and out of your way so that you can run the wires down behind the dash back there. The signal for the remote control to work is pulled off. There's a yellow wire that comes in the electrical harness, and it gets routed down this B-pillar here instead of going up to the front where the fuse and the power is pulled from. But there's a connector behind this plug here. Simply pull this through, push the tab to disconnect these two connectors. There you can see there's a small gray wire there. And that's the wire you're going to tie to on the 2020. And once you disconnect it, when you pull this panel off, in order to pull this panel off, you have to remove the kick panel here on the floorboard entrance, and the passenger, or the rear passenger one also pops up in order to pull this out. So this is going to be pulled out so that you can gain access to that electrical plug and be able to splice in the yellow wire into the gray wire, the yellow supplied wire into the gray power wire. You can see the switch that came with the kit's been installed. The knockout's a little hard to get out, but they are made, they're just clipped in, but it's just difficult to get it to pop out. But that's where the switch goes. And then the fuse panel is where we're going to draw power. And because I've got the kick sensor, there's a power wire, an ACC wire, which is the yellow one with the little black cap on it. And then this black block here is where the power for the main box is for the lifts. And it's plugged into a 12 volt or an always hot fuse. You can see this blue connector right here. Due to the access point of the hot fuse, I was not able to use the extra fuse location, so I actually had to buy another little fuse mini block in order to get my power for the kick sensor. So I've got 12 volt power there, that's supplying power to the module and the kick sensor, and the yellow wire here is the one that's supplying a signal that disables the kick sensor when the ignition is started, which is definitely what you want so it doesn't trip going down the road.